So where do we go from here? We begin with Republican Senator Mike Rounds from South Dakota. Senator, welcome and thanks for making time for us today. On Thursday, the Biden administration confirmed that it will continue to surge congressionally authorized aid to Ukraine in President Biden's final months in office. European leaders have begun discussions about how to continue helping Ukraine without support from the incoming Trump administration. Is the Biden administration trying to dictate terms to the president-elect on Ukraine?
I don't think so. I think there's been a continued support for Ukraine from this administration and from Congress that continues forward. But there's also the long-term prospects of let's find a peaceful solution to this, if at all possible. We'll let the next administration speak for themselves as they get closer to having everybody put in place. For us right now, it's a matter of getting through a lame duck session. We've got a continuing resolution we're going to have to deal with by December 20th. We've got a National Defense Authorization Act that's got to be enacted yet. We haven't got that done. So we're going to have our hands full. And in the middle of it, we're going to be picking our new leadership in the majority in the Senate, and we're excited about that.
Okay, now, but to skip ahead before we come back, I promise we'll come back. But in the Senate, you're tasked with advising the new administration on appointments before you give your consent. Now that we know who isn't going to be part of the team, 2 Republicans who backed U.S. support for Ukraine, this is being interpreted as an ominous sign by pro-Ukrainian lawmakers in both parties. Is that fair, or is it just too soon to say?
I think, they're concerned naturally because they don't know who will be the key players within the cabinet. But at this stage of the game, let's give the president the opportunity to choose his team. And you're correct. Our job is advise and consent. I think, we want to give the president the benefit of the doubt. He has a mandate. Over 4 million more voters selected him rather than his competitor this last election time. So let's give him an opportunity to get his feet on the ground. Let's give him an opportunity to actually make his recommendations. His first choice with Susie Wiles coming in as chief of staff was a great choice. I'm hearing nobody complaining about that at all. And so now they're going to take their time. They're going to work their way through. They've got a lot of really quality people to choose from. And I think he'll hit the ground running. But for right now, let's give him the opportunity to actually choose his team.
Okay, probably the most scrutinized of any of the picks is going to end up being the Attorney General. And we know that during the campaign, the former and future president threatened to go after his political enemies. But he's striking a conciliatory tone now. Listen to this.
It's time to put the divisions of the past 4 years behind us. It's time to unite. And we're going to try. We have to try.
Okay, that is not allayed the concerns around a big legal question, which is whether the president should be able to personally direct prosecutions against individuals. Incoming administration seems to say that there shouldn't be any separation between the Justice Department and the president. How do you see that larger question?
I think ever since the time in which John Kennedy chose Bobby Kennedy, there's been this connection between the presidency and the attorney general in terms of a trust. But at the same time, there has to be a separation as well. And I think you'll find that. I think just the fact that the president is saying, look, we're going to move forward, we're going to unite the country. This is a sensitive area. I don't think that that's been lost on the new administration coming in. And once again, I know there's lots of questions out there. Let's give this new team an opportunity to get their feet on the ground and to actually make some nominations. Lots of questions, but at the same time, there's always that opportunity for them to make some really, really good choices among some really qualified candidates for a number of those different top cabinet positions. And it's awfully early in the process to start, showing a lot of fear about what might happen. Let's give them the opportunity to actually show us a good slate of candidates.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.